So it's been about 3 weeks since I've been up here to do anything with the hoop house. We did end up grabbing some PVC and the connectors for it. So today I'm going to try to put that up. But we also scored on pallets, which we've been going to town quite a bit in the last 3 weeks, and all the pallets that are normally in the little free section at Rural King have all been wiped out, cleaned out. So we think maybe someone was using them for firewood or something, but we scored a bunch, and I found one that's gonna fit on the other side of the door. It does poke out just a little bit, maybe like, I don't know, 1.5 inches or so. So I'm just gonna use it, call it a day. I thought about replacing the 2 smaller ones on that side just to kind of make it a little bit more even, but I think I'm just gonna leave those and deal with it. But we do have more pallets here. They're actually pretty nice pallets, so I might end up using those for the shelves on the inside at some point. But for now, they're off to the side. I'm going to put up this side of the door today, and I'm going to try to get the hoops up and connected. I am kind of just doing this as I go. Originally, I thought I could find something to go over the T-posts and then into that PVC. But what I'm going to end up doing is taking these 1-inch PVC pipes, cutting them in half, because these pipes are 10 feet. So I'll end up cutting them in half and putting them next to the T-posts instead, and drilling into the T-posts to make it a little bit more secure. And then comes the fun part of figuring out the measurements of cutting the 1/2-inch PVC to bend it for the hoops and putting it all together with the connecting pieces, because really from T-post to T-post on one side to the other side, none of them are the same measurements. So I might end up having to get more PVC in the end. But overall, I got 4 of the 1-inch 10-foot PVC and 13 of the 1/2-inch PVC 10-foot. I'm going to try to just do my best on utilizing everything, even with the cuts. If I have to get more, then I have to get more. But that and the connector pieces, it was just over $100, maybe $110. I'm going to try to keep track of the costs, of course, because in the end I do want to figure out how much this build is costing me using materials, that I have versus buying. And I'll end up putting that in one of the descriptions of one of the videos at the end, probably when I'm done. So, because I still have to buy plastic. But today's goal is to get the PVC up, connected. We'll see how far I get. Once I get everything connected in the way that I like it, I will have to unconnect everything just to reconnect everything in order to use the glue, the PVC glue. Sounds like a lot of work, and it probably is more work than really is needed if I went out and did the measurements and made it all even in the first place, but I'm just winging it, guys. So here we go. It's a nice day. Okay, so I did a little bit of a test bend, if you will, because I need to figure out how far I want the 1/2-inch PVC to go into the 1-inch PVC. So now that I know where I think I want to cut the 1/2-inch, I'm going to go ahead and do that and try to piece things together. Alright, now that I got the measurements down on what is needed for the hoops, went ahead and glued the pieces together. This was a little challenging and will continue to be challenging because these have to line up with each other in order for me to put the support beams in. And this one's already slightly off, and you can see a tiny gap there. I couldn't get this one all the way in before the glue started drying, so I asked Robert for help. So he has helped me put all these together, and we got one more hoop together glued over here. That's the second hoop. So I'm going to start with these two and try to get them together with the support beams and go from there. Alright, the first two hoops are up. It's a really windy day, so I had Robert grab the other end when I was putting them in because it was just flying everywhere. But I do have a step stool up here, so the next two hoops I'll be able to get in myself. Okay, I made it work. So the last hoops, the support beams were just a little over 60 inches. One side was 60 inches and 3/4. The other side was 60 inches and a half. And then the top was 61. Obviously the 10-foot one, like I said earlier, is 120 inches long. So if I'm cutting any more than 60 inches, I'm pretty much SOL because I have shorter pieces, what's left. So I just cut 1 in half, made those two work, and then the one beam from the second hoop to the third hoop, that was 61 inches. So I actually did cut that to 61 inches from the other 10-foot. And so I was left with 59 for this last side support from the third hoop to the end, which is the fourth hoop. It's 59 inches, and I just made it work. So I went around, you probably saw I went around pushing these back in because they did come out a little bit when I was up there with the mallet trying to get the PVC connected. So they did pop up a little bit there. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I did put a screw here so that way it can't go any further down. So the screw is 10 inches down. That should be enough. The 1-inch PVC is 5 feet, so yeah, it does go all the way to the ground. Is it a waste? Maybe. It could be. I mean, maybe I could have just cut it in half and just secured it halfway up the T-post instead of all the way to the ground. But I'm just gonna say it's more support. Even though the 1/2 inch doesn't go all the way to the ground either, it just goes 10 inches in. But I did go ahead and put another wire up top. So originally I just had the 3 connecting that PVC to the T-post, but because of all the pressure from the hoops, the 1-inch was starting to lean forward. So I did go ahead and put another wire, and again, I'll make sure that these aren't really going to become an issue once I get the plastic going. But right now it's all up. It's up. Might be off on some sides and edges, but it's there. It's up. It's gonna hold. I'm not worried about it coming back up. Like I said, I was pushing it down. I'm not worried about that because once I put the plastic on, that pressure is going to pull everything down anyway, and I'll be stapling the plastic, and so it'll be more secure. But there are some items that I might address. So I might put a support from here to that top connector piece, probably just like a piece of wood, drill through the connector piece and make sure that piece of wood is drilled into the frame as well, just so that way it's not, you know, swaying in the wind or anything like that. And then I'll probably end up doing the same once I do get around to framing a window on this side, because I'm going to try to frame the window pretty even with where the door frame is and how high it goes up to the PVC. But you know me and measurements and making things level and whatnot, so we'll see how that turns out. That might be another day. I might just kind of eyeball things up here, work with the pallets, maybe even make a shelf or two. I don't want to get ahead of myself too much because I do want to get the plastic on before I really start going with anything else, like I mentioned. But that's where we're at today. I think it's pretty good.
Like and subscribe for more amazing content, and comment down below what you liked most about this video.